Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Utopia Show. I am your host Faria, and today, um, I'm going to talk on a topic which is very different. And maybe I've spoken about it in my previous episodes, maybe a bit of it, but I'm gonna talk about it in detail in this episode. So let me ask you something you probably haven't thought about today. So, when was the last time you were completely honest with yourself? Like, no audience, no filters, no overthinking, no word perfect edits, just you with every tangle of thought, every unspoken fear, every buried desire. And let me ask this: where do you put all that honesty? Most of us don't have a space for it. We vent in DMs, we tweet in fragments, we over explain in texts we never send, but still so much stays stuck in our heads. That's where journaling walks in. It's not like a shiny wellness, self help, self care habit, not as an aesthetic ritual, but also as a return to hearing yourself, witnessing yourself, meeting yourself again raw and unmasked on the page. Now, today's episode, it's not about perfect planners or curated spreads. This is about the messy, um, truth-filled act of writing only for yourself. This is pen paper presence. So let's talk about journaling. Now, that's one quote that I absolutely love, which is we write today's life twice, in the moment and in reflection. But most of the time we live only once and barely. We rush, we react, we swallow thoughts whole about without digesting them. We process life on fast forward. And even when we try to slow down, we do it in front of an audience, a screen, a story, a status update. What we don't have is a private mirror. That's what a journal is. It's where you go when there's nowhere else to go. It's the friend that holds your silence, the page that absorbs your spiral, the moment when you realize that for once you're not being watched. Journaling isn't about recording events, it's about making sense of them. It's not about fixing your mind, it's about emptying it safely. And in a world that constantly demands performance, journaling is your backstage. It's where you stop acting, where you let the thoughts breathe without rearranging them to sound wise or polished or emotionally intelligent. Because here's the thing, we often don't know what we think until we write it down. Now, journaling, it helps us to write our thoughts down. Whatever you're thinking, whether you are, whether you're thinking about your exams or whether you're thinking about the stress load that your work might give. Journaling is the perfect escape way from it. You are able to write your thoughts down there, and the moment when you write your thoughts, it's easier to feel connected, it's easier to feel more connected to the situation that you're going through. Writing, it gives shape to the formless. It's the difference between drowning in your thoughts and swimming through them, stroke by stroke. Now, journaling becomes a container, and in that container, you start to see yourself. Not the version others applaud, not the version you post, but the version that simply is. This version that you simply are. And if you're scared to meet that version, good. That means you're about to get somewhere real. And that's why journaling is such an important thing. Now, if we talk about science for a second, okay, journaling is just not like a poetic or very self-care, self-help habit. It's neurological, okay? When you write, especially about difficult experiences, something extraordinary happens in your brain. You activate the left prefrontal cortex. Now, the part of the brain involved in logic, structure, and regulation. You move emotions from the reactive, limbic part of the brain into language, into order, into something you can work with. Now, this reduces emotional intensity. Your anxiety starts to calm. Your mind begins to feel navigable. Now, you're not just feeling anymore, you're processing. Now, according to multiple psychological studies, expressive writing, it reduces, number one, it reduces stress hormones like cortisol. Number two, it lowers blood pressure. Number three, it increases immune function. Number four, it improves memory. Five, enhances sleep quality. And six, even accelerates physical healing. And emotionally, it makes you feel more self-aware, more emotionally literate, more able to self-soothe and self-regulate without outsourcing your head healing to someone else. Because sometimes before you call a friend or spiral in a group chat or spend hours googling why do I feel like this, you could just write it down. Let the ink hold and write everything that is happening to you. Write it down, and that's why what journaling is all about. Let the pen that you have carry what your mouth cannot. Okay, because here's the truth: your mind was never like meant to hold all of it alone. So write it down. Journaling is the way, is the pathway through which you can easily feel relaxed, feel calm, feel more self aware of everything around you. And so, journaling isn't like a one size fits all practice. If the blank page it scares you, maybe the format needs to shift. Now, here are like few styles of journaling that you might like to try, okay, or maybe like explore. Number one is stream of consciousness. It's also known as brain dump. You start writing without a plan, no punctuation, no censorship. You write what's like really in your head. Start with, I don't know what to say, but, and let your hand take over it. It's often messy, unhinged, and beautiful too, and write it down. You do not really have to worry about, oh, is there a format that I need to follow, or is there anything that I'm doing wrong? Um, you do not have to worry about grammar or punctuation or anything like that when you're doing that. Where this is like the one journaling style that you might like to try. And the second one is prompt based journaling. Now, there are days where having a direction, getting a direction really helps. Maybe you could Google them up. Maybe you could Google some prompts up, or maybe you could buy a journaling book. You may might like to try some of these prompts that I'm going to say now. Number one is, right now I'm afraid of, and then you write it what you're like afraid of. What is something that is holding you back? And number two, something I need to admit to myself is, so here you're being truly honest to yourself, okay? You are, is there something that you're doing wrong? Is there something that you need to improve? Number three, my body is holding on to. Is there certain emotions that your body is feeling? Is there something that you need to work on? Do you need to work on your physical health? Do you need to go for a run? Do you need to exercise, do yoga, meditation? You need to find a solution for it when you write those when you do prompt based journaling. Next is, if I weren't trying to be perfect, I would. So this one, so basically you are sort of trying to maybe it's a goal that you want to achieve, but then you're always trying to be perfect, you're trying not to make mistake, you're just trying to be a flawless person. But here's the thing, you cannot be the flawless or the most perfect person in the world. So you need to be perfect to it, you need to be honest to what is actually happening. So yes, let each of these sentences like pull something that is deep inside. And also, this is one of my favorite one is um, how um, how are you feeling today? So it's more like a night reflecting prompt. How are you feeling today? Or maybe like a mid. You could do this in the middle of the day. How are you feeling today? So, or maybe when you wake up, anything as you like to assume it, okay? So this is one prompt that I usually ask myself, and then I write them down on a paper just so that it's easier for me to analyze what is happening, or how I am feeling today, or is there something that is stopping me. So it's more like these prompt based journaling. Whenever you do, make sure that after you finish writing your problem, whatever you need to write according to the prompt, make sure that you are um, you are also finding a solution, you're writing a solution for it, or you at least find a solution for each of the prompt. Third is third type of journaling, okay? It's called the dialogues. Now talk to your fear, your younger self, your anxiety, your future self. Now maybe it's like, dear inner critique, why do you always show up when I'm about to start something that matters most? And then write it down, write it all down. What, why do you always, there's this one critique that you have inside you that keeps on saying, oh, is it okay if I do that, is it not okay if I don't do that? The self-doubt, the self-doubt that you have, you need to question it out, you need to question it out and write it down. The more you question that, the more you question those self-doubt, and write it down in your journaling. If you journal it out, write it out, you would feel so much more calm. You would feel more calmer, more relaxed, and then you would realize that it's nothing. It's just a thought that is holding me back. It's not some sort of it's nothing that is holding me back. It's just a thought that was putting me aside. So when you practice this type of a journaling style, it helps you to talk to your fear, your younger self, or maybe a self where you are filled with anxiety. So write it down. Next is next type of journaling style is memory journaling. Now, like, choose like a vivid memory, whether it's good, bad, or confusing. Just try to re-enter it. Write whatever you remember, what you didn't say, what you wish you could go back and talk. It's powerful, especially for healing. Now it's something like, let's say you want to write about a really good memory. So you go back in time and think about it. Oh, I remember I went to this place, or I saw a beautiful flower, or maybe I spent a really good time with my friends and my family, or anything of that sort. Or maybe confusing bad, maybe it's something like, oh, I got hurt today while walking or while running, or anything of that sort. So you sort of, or maybe some a situation where you actually fell into and you really didn't know how you're supposed to find a solution for it. So and you try to re-enter that memory. You try to write whatever you remember, what you did not say, what you wish you could go back and ask. It's like really powerful. So when you write it down, you will feel that it's so much more better to you will feel so much more better after writing it all down. And next type of journaling is night journaling or sleep pages. Not all thoughts, like belong in the morning. Maybe you could write it before bed. Ask yourself and write it down. What do I need to release to sleep in peace? What can wait till tomorrow? What's still echoing from my day? Now, these are just some of the prompts. It's similar to prompt based, but it's something that you do at night. It's called night journaling. Now, you need to ask, maybe you could also do a sense of sort of self reflection, like, what did I do wrong today? What is something that I could improve or work on tomorrow, so that, things become better? And what are the other things that I need to work on, or anything of that sort. It's more like a reflection kind of thing that you could do at night. Or maybe there are times where you're like, is there something still echoing from my day? Is there something that I still need to work on from my day? Or how you could, what can wait till tomorrow? If there's some work that you could do it tomorrow, keep it and do it tomorrow. You do not have to do it or everything in one day. So it's like a reflection kind of a thing, reflection, and also a thought based kind of journaling where you're writing your thoughts down before you go to bed, so that you know what you need to improve on or what you could possibly do the very next day to make it a better day. And then the next kind of journaling style is voice journaling. If you're like tired, if you don't want to write, okay? Now, you record yourself. You record yourself saying things. You record yourself that you maybe give yourself a prompt or anything, or maybe if there's something that you want to reflect on, record yourself. Let your voice carry those thoughts. This is especially freeing when like you don't want to write or you don't want to say, when you don't want to write or you just feel like it's not something that you want to do at the moment, so you can record it. You can record your voice saying it, saying or maybe reflecting on your day. And so it will definitely help you with regulating your own emotion. Now here's the thing, journaling, when it comes to journaling, though I've given these types and methods, styles or methods, you could say, the method doesn't matter, the honesty does. You could choose any of the methods that I have given, any of the styles that I've given, but what really matters is you being honest. It's important for you to be honest when you are journaling. So yeah. And then here's like some prompts that I have written it down, and I want to say it on this podcast. Maybe you could use some of these prompts like for a deeper writing, if you in case you want to write, or maybe deep reflection. Now, number one is self-awareness. Now, number one prompt under self-awareness is, what am I pretending not to know? Second is, what emotion keeps knocking at my door lately? Third is, what's the cost of my current coping mechanisms? Now, these three questions will help you to be more aware of what you're doing, how your actions are regulating your emotions, or how you're being more honest to yourself. You're being aware, more self-aware of your characteristics, of your choices, of your opinions. So, self-awareness prompts are also very, very important. Hope and vision. Now, maybe what is trying to bloom in me? Where in my life is something quietly going right? You are trying to look at your life from a different perspective. Is there any self-doubt or emotions or anything which is trying to hold me back from blooming? Or, is there something in my life that is going exactly in the direction that I want? Now, use these prompts like not as like check boxes, but like they will lead you back to yourself. They will make you feel more honest to yourself. Now, building journaling, turning journaling into a habit is also, you might just feel like, oh, I need to do this every single day. No, I'm being honest. Not everyone journals every single day. You could add it. I journal every week. You can make it like a weekly habit. You don't need to do it every single day. You don't, and maybe if not weekly, how about you do it once a month, or maybe when you actually feel like, or maybe at times when you actually feel like you need to write the situation, or you really need to reflect on yourself. It's not like a habit or gold star habit. It's not like a survival skill. But here's like how you can actually make journaling a part of your rhythm without feeling guilt. if you are getting started with it, I still want you to give it a thought. I still want everyone to give it a thought, give it a try to understand it. Maybe not try, you don't really have to like build it as a habit, but I want everybody to do it without feeling guilty of not doing journaling, not journaling every single day. So here's the thing. Keep it easy. Put your journal somewhere visible, like not buried on your or like on your pillow or anything like that. Just keep it in your desk or maybe in your bag. Like make it part of the landscape of your life. You do not have to do it every single day, but keep it in a place. Keep your journaling a journal somewhere where the moment you feel like the need of self reflection, you can easily take your journal out and write it all down. Next is stack it. Link journaling to something you already do. Your morning chai, your skincare, your commute. It's easier to build when it's stacked onto a habit you already have. Maybe you could all connect journaling to something to your morning chai. As I said, you could maybe at night, you're done with your skincare and you're like, oh, I can journal for a bit. Or maybe you've put some face mask on your face mask, and then you feel like, oh, I need to journal. So, or maybe you're going somewhere on a train, you could write your journaling and thoughts and reflections down there. So it's easier to build when it's stacked onto a habit you already have. And then set a timer. Now, obviously, reflection, maybe doing a monthly reflection or whenever you do a reflection, you do not have to do it for an hour or anything. Or even if you if you're someone who want to get started with it, just try for 5 minutes. Try to write about some sort of self-reflection on the prompts that I gave. Try to journal for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. You'll almost always write more, and like the hardest part is always starting. So the moment you get started with it, trust me, it's so much more easier. You will be able to regulate your emotions. You will be able to do things properly. You'll be able to be more aware of everything around you. So yeah, set a timer, and then no perfection. I have said it before in the beginning that you do not have to be perfect in it. You do not need to worry about grammar mistakes or anything of that sort. You could write in a terrible handwriting if you want. You could write however you want. You do not have to be perfect. Your journal is not a performance. It's you being honest, and that's what something you need to remember. And then voice note days. If you can't write, talk to yourself. If you don't want to write, talk to yourself. Speak it into your phone. Reflect on yourself. It's still a form of self-expression. The moment you express, the moment you reflect everything and record it, in a phone, okay, you'd feel so much more calm. You would calmer and so much more relaxed. You'll be at peace because you are reflecting on yourself. You're letting things out of yourself. So it's so much more better when you also, if you don't want to write, if you cannot write, just talk to yourself, speak into your phone, and by reflecting on your day. Now the thing is, let me tell you what happens when you journal regularly, or even if it's not daily, or maybe weekly, or maybe monthly, or maybe once once a month, or maybe anywhere, anytime. Maybe once in 3 months, once in 5 months, 4 months, 6 months. What happens is you change, not all at once, not loudly, but slowly. Your reactions soften. You become more aware. Your awareness sharpens. You spot patterns. You stop being surprised by your own emotional weather. You start to recognize things. You start to become more aware. And then one day maybe you will flip through the pages, journaling pages, or go through those voice notes, and you'll be like, oh, I made it through that. I still made it through that. And that's the magic. You start to trust yourself. Not because everything's perfect, but because you've watched yourself endure, soften, and grow. And that's what makes journaling sacred. It's not aesthetic, it's archival. It becomes your proof. And that you felt, that you cared for yourself, and that you lived fully even in the quiet. Now, if you're still here, thank you very much. Now, this episode wasn't about being productive or anything. It wasn't about being more organized. It was about coming home to yourself. In a world that constantly interrupts you, constantly, you are more, you constantly, you need to keep on doing things, you need to keep on hustling. Journaling is how you listen inward again. When you journal, you are caring for yourself, you're taking care of your mind. So here's like a gentle invitation to you tonight. Grab a notebook or open a voice memo or type in the notes app if that's what you've got, and just start. Start with maybe, I don't know what to say, but and then write. Or maybe like, today I felt like, and then write it down. Or even like, this feels weird, but I'm trying, and then write it down. Write whatever you want to write and let it happen. You do not need to be a writer to write. You just need to be willing to witness yourself. You need to be honest to yourself, maybe one sentence at a time. And honestly, journaling is like the best way to be yourself, to be aware of who you are. it makes you feel it makes you feel so much better deep inside. So you've got this, and see you on the next episode. So thank you very much. And if you want to follow me on my Instagram, it's Farias at the rate Farias Utopia. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead.